I never planned on becoming a chef. I was 17. I was using every pan in the kitchen just trying to make a steak and some mashed potato, making a complete mess. And someone said, just go and ask if the restaurant down the road has a job. That was the accident that changed everything. 20 years later, I had cooked for celebrities on private yachts, trained in two-Michelin-star restaurants, and built a meal program that gets people results that most $1,000 a month nutritionists can't. This is how that happened, and why none of it was supposed to. I grew up in a small town in Devon, southwest England, not exactly a culinary capital. I worked at a gastro pub, small team, basics, learning how to organise a section. Then I went somewhere more fine dining. They told me honestly that I had some bad habits that I needed to unlearn, which sent me to London. I was 19, I didn't know anyone, no smartphone, no map app, you just had to figure out where you're going. Going from a team of 4 to a team of 50 is a completely different world. A football pitch of a kitchen, pastry section, banqueting team, room service, and what they drilled into you was uniformity. Everything follows the recipe. Everything is consistent. That was a foundation I didn't know I needed. The next step was a Michelin-star restaurant, Gidley Park in Devon. 2 Michelin stars at the time. This was probably the hardest thing I'd ever done. 14, 16-hour days, everything made from scratch, every 1 or 2 days. Small team. People would quit in the middle of a service and everyone else had to cover. But what I learned there was something I carry into every meal I make now. 90% of the work happens before it gets on the plate. The marinating, the slow cooking, the reduction. By the time someone sits down, the work is already done. As a chef, you put hours into something someone consumes in 5 minutes. That's the job. And it's enough as long as it's perfect. After 2 years in Michelin kitchens, I was burnt out. I went to Australia to decompress, and it rewired how I think about food. In the UK, fine dining had a rulebook. In Australia, nobody cared about that. If it tastes good, it works. That was the moment I realised. The rules were not the point, the result was the point. After that came 8 years cooking on luxury super yachts. Private chefs for people who could eat anywhere in the world. And what they wanted was not theatre. They wanted good food, cooked simply by someone who knew exactly what they were doing. Clean protein, good vegetables, done properly. That is the highest level, and it's actually the simplest thing. When I moved to Vancouver, my wife got a nutrition plan from a personal trainer she'd paid over $2,000 for. The plan was 4 lines. Breakfast, 2 ounces protein, 2 ounces fat, and lunch similar and dinner similar. No recipes, no guidance. She looked at me and said, what do I do with this? So I did it myself. 6 weeks of meals built around her goals. She lost 15 pounds. But more than the weight, I watched her go from someone who crashed without breakfast to someone fasting comfortably until 2 p.m, working through contracts completely clear. That is when I understood what food actually does to the body when you get it right. Her brother was close to being put on insulin and diabetic medication. Her sister-in-law was overweight. 4 of them did the program together, and in 6 weeks they lost 90 pounds between them. That is just what the program does. Now I run a cohort of 25 clients. Fresh meals twice a week. No menu, portions to the gram, and I check in with them twice a week. Not because I have to, but because that accountability is what makes the results last. Now, I'm a chef. I'm not a doctor, not a nutritionist. My experience is just cooking for real people for 20 years and watching firsthand what food does to them when it's done properly. The problem is never willpower or motivation, it's simply logistics. People know they should eat better, they just do not have the time, skill, or the system to do it consistently. That is the gap worth closing. Their only job is to eat the food. And the full recipe library is free at notimetocook.food. And if you want to try the program, the 1-week taster is the place to start. Both links below.